Hey, how you doing, guys? How you doing? Give me 1 second here. Okay, how you doing? So let me go to the chat. Hey, Cuba, you made it. Welcome to this community. I just wanted to say hi. I watched your last three reviews, and they really helped me with my trading. Simplicity, trading only trends, and staying away from the chop. Nice, nice. All right, MG, hi Neto, hope you're fine. How do you select your stocks per day? I'll tell you in a second, MG. Hello, Aldo, Rael, Mohan. Hola, Alex, Sven. Hello, Sabrina. Where's your hat? Today I had a meeting, so I just had to brush my hair. Hola, Divan. How you doing, my friend? Hello, Andreas. Welcome back, my friend. Welcome back. Long time I didn't see you. Hello, Deuce. Hello, Justin. Nita. Hey, Robert. All right. Hola, hola. Yeah. Hey, Luke. What's up? Hello, Joseph. Nixon. Which country? I'm originally from Mexico, but I live on the United States. All right. Hey, Kevin. How you doing? Hello, Patrick. All right, guys. So let's go. All right. So first, I would like to answer something asked by our new friend MG. Well, no, MG is not a new friend. MG has been here for some time. All right. So what is the criteria I use for the names that I want to trade? I usually go watch all of all of the names on my watch list. What is your watch list, Neto? Let me show you. This is my watch list. So I usually have Amazon, Tesla, Nvidia, AMD, Microsoft, Google, and here I have SPY and QQQ. I don't trade too much SPY and QQQ. I like them, but I don't trade them too much. Sometimes, well, not sometimes. I do have an Apex funded account, and the only thing that I do there it's NQ, and the only thing that I do on NQ is the 5 minute opening range. That it's a very small account. It's a well, I mean, it's a $25,000 account, but my earnings there are kind, slowly compounding. But that's the only thing I trade on futures, and it needs to be a day where I'm not on a trade on options here, right? So usually what I do is I go to the 15-minute chart. I go to the 15-minute chart, and this is what I start looking here. I go to, for example, here I go to SPY and I start looking for these key levels. These blue lines are key levels on the daily chart. So this is my daily chart, and what I do is I usually draw the previous highs and lows outside of the shadow of the previous candle. So for example, here, this was my previous high, and the next one is this, and the next one is this, and the next one is this here, because these ones here, well, actually I could have this one here, right? This one here. But it's already taken today, so I don't know, like probably it's just this is better. But that's the way how I do it. So I go to all of the tickers here. This is SPY, this is QQQ. Then I go to Apple. Then I go to AMD. then I go to Amazon, Nvidia, Tesla, Microsoft, Meta. Well, look at Microsoft. Microsoft is crazy. It had a lot of external liquidity here from the previous highs. Microsoft is very close to all-time highs. So this is the way I do it. So if I see a pattern or like a good setup on the higher time frame, usually the 15 minute. I mean, I go to the daily and then I go to the 15-minute chart and I just look for a few days back. Not too much. This is Palantir. This is Palantir. This is Google. So as you can see, I just look for a few days back and that's it. So this is the way I choose my names for the day. That's the way I choose my names for the day. And again, I'm looking for the intraday price action. And if I see, usually when I'm preparing my day, I have like the upside play and the downside play. And then once the market open, I start looking at I'm start looking to the intraday price action. And if the indices are showing strength, I go look for the names that are moving in the same direction. If the indices are showing weakness, I look for the indices that are going to the downside, and I start comparing to my trading plans. If something is fitting my downside plan, that's it. But that's a lot of preparation. From, for example, today at night, I come here, refine my levels and everything, and on the morning, I look at the 15-minute chart and I start looking for. I'm start preparing like my trading plan for the day. So that's pretty much my process. And sometimes there are names that are not tradable. But sometimes I just find out from the previous day that what is coming. Um, I use Webull. I'm based on the United States, so I use Webull. Its fees are very affordable, and the actual app, it's very easy to use. Divan, what's the difference between the blue and the white lines? Okay, so that's a good question. So the blue lines are the previous highs and lows on the daily chart, and the white lines are key levels on the 15-minute chart up to 5 days back, not more. Uh, can I please know the name of the indicator you use? On the description of the video, it has a link for that tool, or on the description of the channel also. All right, so guys, I want to show you this. So this was the Apple chart for the day. You can see we tried to open to the upside, then 3 candles later we went to the downside, low from high of the day to low of the day in 3 candles. Then we tried to break the 5-minute opening range. We tried to break the 5-minute opening range. Immediate retest, consolidation around here, break again, retest, but no reaction. And then we just went inside of the 5-minute opening range until very close to noon on this retest of the previous day high. And suddenly, I don't know what happened around noon. Do you know if there were news or something? I mean, 11:53, Apple just boom, it just went nuts to the upside. Well, yeah, I mean, from the 202 to 203, almost 204. So I don't know what happened on Apple with this reaction, because on the indices, I mean, they are showing some upside, but nothing too heavy. So I don't know what happened with Apple. I really don't see a play here. We had higher highs, higher lows, but here we had a change of character. I don't know, like maybe this retest of this previous day close, but it's not an actual retest here. So what happened with the indices here? They were breaking, yeah, they were breaking up here. Yeah, that was the break. No, it's not the. Yeah, well, kind of. That was the break on QQQ and almost on SPY. But again, this was looking a lot of, this was showing a lot of weakness here. So this movement here, I don't trust it. So I don't like Apple too much. So I don't see like a decent play here. Not sure if any one of you took something on Apple. Do you draw your levels from scratch every day, or do you keep some? I keep the daily, all the blue lines. I'm just moving. I mean, if today's candle actually took them, I just move the blue lines and the 15-minute, the white lines. Those are key levels on the 15-minute chart. I try to refine them every day. I mean, I don't delete them, but just move them. Um, is there another chat other than the YouTube chat for this? No, it's not. I mean, yeah, the Discord. But I mean, this is right now. This is the only chat that I'm reading right now. Okay. Okay, so let's go to AMD. AMD went not today. I don't know what happened with AMD. Uh, it was showing a lot of strength since this morning. I sent you this morning on Discord that if AMD hold 114, yeah, 114.50, this 5 minute opening range, we will easily watch 118. And what happened here? For a few cents. The day is not over. Give it a second. Give it a few minutes. So we held this 5 minute opening range, 114.59. Discord. If you go to the Discord, I told you hold of this 114.5, 114.5 right here on this daily gap. If we hold this is gonna fly. So it actually had this break and retest here. Look, AMD, I'm gonna delete these two. All right. Let's use just one tool. So first, it's this one. So here you have the break and retest of the 5 minute opening range. And if you were aiming to this first key level, previous week high, it was a 1 to 2.7 risk reward ratio trade. All right. That's a very good question, Nita. I'm gonna tell you in a second. Okay. Why didn't why I didn't take AMD? It was this retest 946. Good time here. But what was happening on the indices? You tell me, guys. You tell me, guys. 946 here. This is the retest. Oh no, here. This is the retest 946. What was happening on the indices? Guys, tell me. I'm waiting for your answers on the chat. What was happening on indices? Absolutely nothing. Exactly, Cuba. Absolutely nothing. So still on the 1 minute opening range. Yeah, exactly. So that was awful price action on the indices. Yeah, I know. Relative strength, relative weakness. Yeah. But on my playbook, and this could be different for everyone, in my playbook, I need first some sort of trend or direction on the indices. Then I go look for the names moving on the same direction, and then I go watch for the ones with relative strength and relative weakness. But Listen to me. In my playbook, and this doesn't need to be the same thing with you. You can do something different if you want. But in my playbook, relative strength is the third factor, not the first one. So, so I don't know. Like I, this look good. This look perfect. This look perfect. Look at this. This is a perfect break and displacement and retest of the 5 minute opening range. So this is a very nice trade here. If you took your trade right here, 947, you have your stop loss right below this candle here, or let's say this opening price here, something here. I mean, right to high of the day, it's one, well, to high of the day, it was a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio trade, right to high of the day. But it's so close to this key level here on the daily chart. So probably you took this candle and you didn't have any time to trim, right? Because it was super aggressive to the upside. So this was a 1 to 2.7 risk reward ratio trade right here. And if you were trying to follow something like market structure here, you can see here, this is a retest of what? Yeah, previous high of the day. Previous high of the day. It held like amazingly well. It held amazingly well. Even if we set the order block like here, just the wicks of this candle, just the wicks of this candle, look how well this held. So we came again here, and this is textbook market structure, right? Can you see here, guys? Let me take this out. Okay. This is this is not textbook market structure here. Can you see higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows? So I don't know if you took this AMD trade, but at least I will consider something like this. And this was a 1 to 4.8 risk reward ratio trade. And now we can start playing with our tool. All right. So anyone took this one, this particular one? Let me go to the chat. Uh, doesn't make much sense to take AMD because you will be buying to yesterday high resistance. Yes, exactly. Yeah, that nice view. No QQQ. Yeah. Thank you, Divan. You played Amazon. I will go to Amazon in a second. Very helpful explanation. Thank you. Gabriel, trend line on QQQ. Yes. What about 952? Yeah, I'll go there. You give me 1 second. These arrows point to a trend are exactly what I pick up from your beats and took advantage of it today. Good. Just put the tool. Didn't take because of the indices. Right before Jolt. Back to but to back test the 5 minute. Okay. That on the next AMD. It's bad. Crazy, my friend. All right. So this was the first one, right? This break and retest of the 5 minute opening range. This is super clear, right? Okay. Neto, I couldn't take this one. I couldn't take this one. What do you say? Well, let's try to take the next ride. What about this break and retest of high of the day? And this is the retest right here. Let's use this second candle. You have your risk at the bottom of this wick and you are aiming here. So this is a 1 to 2.3 risk reward ratio trade. And what is happening with market structure? Again, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, Let's use this higher high. Let's use this higher low. And this one. All right. So this is super evident, right, guys? So if you were aiming to this 116.10, it's a key level on the daily chart. This was a 1 to 2.3 risk reward ratio trade. If you manage to hold your position, maybe I'm not saying that it was, but what about 116.50? 116.50 right here, 116.50 right here. It was a nice ride. 1 to 3.7 risk reward ratio trade, and maybe you were moving your stops to every pivot low, right? Anyone took this second trade here? Sven, you took that one, right? The order, human torch, the order block entry is much better given the context. Why here? Yes. So after this candle here, this 954, look at this clean break of the high of the day. And then we have this, where is the huge candle of the jolt? It's this one, 10 in the morning. So can you see we had good reaction on the indices, but here it was just holding, it was chilling right here on this 115.54. So this was a very nice trade here. But hey Neto, do you see any other entry here for AMD? I think I do. I think I do. What about this break and retest of this 115.54 on the daily? So you have your risk right here below this candle here. What if we can go to high of the day? Well, high of the day is 1 to 1.8, but let's say that we go to the next level, 116.50. Well, now you will see, hey, Neto, well, now in hindsight, this is easy. Well, this is easy, but what was happening? Look here. I mean, market structure, it's right here. And what was happening on SPY? SPY was going nuts to the upside. SPY was going nuts to the upside here. So look at the hairline here. So SPY was going nuts to the upside. It broke to the upside here. Retest of this 594. What's going on with AMD? Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. Nice retest of this 595.54. Can you see the relation between SPY and AMD? Can you see the relation between SPY and AMD? So this could be, if you were patient enough, and you were aware of this market structure here, guys, probably you got at least this key level here, and this was a 1 to 6 risk reward ratio trade. What do you think about this? Does it make sense for you? Yes, Ben, congrats. I took that one on AMD, but stopped out on my runners early and didn't catch the full move. Still profit. Justin, remember, there you are the main goal here. It's to have a plan and to stick to your plan. So if your plan was accomplished, that's a win on my books. Ended up stopping out 1035, 1035. All right, the first move from here. Okay, 1035. I got out at 1034 candle. You got nervous, yeah. Yeah. Remember, guys, look at this. I mean, once you start uh, going into a trade, can you see here? Look at this. Can you see here on the left bottom corner of my screen? There's a timer. I just turn it on. I'm not sure if you can see it, right? Let me fix it. Wait a minute. I don't know why it's not. Well, I don't know what's happening, but it shows you it shows you 10 minutes, but it's actually a 5 minute, and it says, "Is this still is this a valid trade? Is this a valid trade?" And what it helps me, guys, it's to be aware of market structure. Okay, I'm holding this trade for the right reasons, even if it's a winner or if it's a loser, right? I mean, I'm holding this because I'm stubborn or because I want to be right, or I'm holding this because the market structure is telling me that I need to I need to hold. So if you are doing this timer, it's just making me aware to take a look to market structure once in a while so I can see if I'm on the right trade. Um, New question. How can a beginner not chicken out when I see a candle going against when I'm in profit? Well, you can do this, Cuba. I mean, if you have a timer, once you enter into a trade, set your timer 5 minutes or whatever feel makes you feel comfortable. And every time it sounds, go to your chart and forget about the PNL. Forget about the PNL and look at your chart and decide if this is still keeping market structure. If you decide to take a trade with the trend of the indices, if it's still following the indices. So this timer helped me to to stay connected to my trade and don't and I can go back and look if it's holding market structure, if it's still aligned to my indices. So that's the way I look for for new, like, yeah, like for new information, let's say. All right. So here, guys, there were plenty of entries here, right? Because I mean, if you go here and say, okay, well, maybe this not, but as you can see here, every pullback was bought here. So if you started having these order blocks here, I'm sorry, if you started having your order blocks here, okay, well, this is a break and retest of previous high. Okay, well, what's the next one? Okay, here, okay, this is the next break and retest of the order block. This is a 123.4. Okay, let's use the next order block here. We got bought here, risk right here. Let's use this new high of the day, 1 to 5 reward ratio trade. So can you see how many entry opportunities here? And if you were watching the indices went nuts here. So you can take every push on this tech name. All right. Okay. So congrats if you take any of the AMD, any of the AMD of the AMD trades. Congrats, guys. Let's go to the next one. Amazon. This was a trade I was looking at. I didn't take it. I didn't take it, but I draw it. I draw it, and it was a loser. It was a loser. But look how nice was this retest on pre-market high. Can you see here? Let me add a few circles here. So nice retest here, 1008, but what was happening on the indices? 1008, 1008. What was happening on the indices? They were actually breaking down this 1 minute, 5 minute open range. So it was at the very bottom It was at the very bottom of the range here and here. 1008. Yeah, here. So nice retest of the pre-market high. So if you take your trade on the next candle right above this retesting candle, and you were aiming at least not too high of the day, but at least to this pivot high, it was a 1 to 2.3 risk reward ratio trade. But what happened here? It couldn't go higher. Rejection here of this trend line, rejection here, rejection here. So if this was showing weakness on this trend line, did you see any chance to the downside, Neto? Well, for being honest, I didn't see anything. I mean, this retest of pre-market high, but I don't like to use pre-market high or previous day high as the key level for a short position, and the other way around. I don't like the previous day low or the pre-market low as my key level for a long position. So I don't like this here, but I would understand if someone tried this. So after lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows here. So this was a lower high. This was a lower high. I just said, okay, so here, right here, what was happening on the indices? Completely the opposite, right? They were breaking out right here on this retest of pre-market high. They were breaking out on high of the day. So would you take this to the downside? I wouldn't. I wouldn't, because now the indices are pushing higher, right? Now the indices are pushing higher, but what happened to Amazon? It was just lagging and lagging and lagging. And later in the day, well, it tried to wake up, but not too hard. So this was the only kind of entry opportunity that I watch here. This nice retest, and also not sure if I ever told you, but I like this kind of price action with small bodies, long wicks on the candles. So this was a very nice week for me. But again, both indices were inside of the 5 minute opening range or the 1 minute opening range. So that's why I wouldn't take any of Amazon. Uh, what do you do if a previous day high is broke but not retest due to strong price action? How do you decide whether to take the trade or not? Well, Nita, I'm a break and retest trader. So if I don't have a clean retest, I just look for a different opportunity. I mean, I'm not a breakout trader. I'm a break and retest trader. Um, Rael did not like the price action on Amazon today since it failed to break high of the day. Yeah, while QQQ was flying. Yeah, exactly. All right. We are kind of the same page here. Nvidia Nvidia had Nvidia just like AMD, right? Just like AMD. So what I send you guys, what I send you, oh, give me 1 second here. Okay. What I sent you on Discord this morning. Okay. So for Nvidia, needs to hold yesterday high of the day for continuation to 140. This looks good. So where's previous day high? Look at this. 138.13, and I told you to 140. 140 is this one here. So this plan was provided by your friend Neto this morning on Discord. So it held really nice here. So this look at this. If you zoom out and look left here, what is this? Well, this is a nice break and retest of this previous day high. Break and retest of previous day high. Zoom out, look left. All right. But what was happening on the indices, guys? On this retest here, 940, 940, QQQ was at the very bottom of the range, and SPY 940 below opening price, below 1 minute opening range. So that was what happened on Nvidia. So we had this nice break and retest on the previous day high, but indices were looking very weak, right? So, oh, Neto, but look at this relative strength here. Yeah, but in my playbook, I like the indices going in the same direction. I'm sorry, guys. So today, the indices were not playing nicely for our playbook. But I mean, don't worry about it. We will have more days like today. It just, I mean, it just didn't work today, but usually they work. So don't worry about it. So if you was following this plan provided in the morning, whole of this previous day high 138.12, you took your trade here on this reaction 940 above these previous candles here, maybe like something like this here. Your risk was at the bottom of this candle here, and you were aiming, well, first to high of the day. This was 122.2. Then to 139.29. That's a key level on the 15-minute chart. But I told you guys, 140, 140. Look, no reaction all the way up to 140. This was a 1 to 5 risk reward ratio trade. Any one of you follow this plan from Discord today? I would like to see a lot of messages like, oh yeah, I took everything oversized on this and I'm now a millionaire. Jack took that trade on Nvidia today. Yeah. Yeah, and you now watch what happened here, right? This is a break and retest of the previous day high. Previous day high. All right. So Neto, show me another opportunity on Nvidia. All this strength could not be cut if indices were flying. All right. Well, that's the other thing. On this retest of this order block here, what was happening with the indices? They were at the bottom of the range, inside the 5 minute opening range. That's why I was not being able to follow these trades. I'm sorry. But if you were brave enough and took this trade here, so you can see, all right, so you took this trade right above this retesting candle, let's say right here, and you have your risk below this candle here, let's say at the bottom of this order block here, and you were aiming to high of the day. High of the day was a 1 to 2.1 risk reward ratio trade, but the next key level here, it was this 141.79, 149.79. It was a 1 to 3.6 risk reward ratio trade. So if you took this second chance here, that was also a very, very, very nice trade here. All right. So who took Nvidia this morning? High Neto, is 140 a psychological level? It is. It is. It's a round number, psych number, strike number. Yeah. So 140. It's a huge. Good job, Cuba. Andy, I focus on AMD instead of Nvidia. Well, both were showing a lot of strength. Rael, I saw it as well, but didn't have a strong conviction to take it. Yeah. Isn't that order block less probability because it's not pivoting anything? Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think it's it's low probability because it's randomly in the middle of nowhere. I mean, the the bottom of this order block, I mean, the order block should be like the whole candle, right? So the whole candle is right at the 140 key level, right? Right at the 140 key level. So it's just retesting here. The relevance of this order block, Alex, will be that it's the bottom of this order block, it's 140, and that's a huge level, right? That's a huge level. But I mean, right here, I'm just drawing this order block with the wick, with the upper wick, but technically the order block should be all the way to the bottom of this candle. So what's the relevance of this order block? That it's at the 140 key level. So that's why it's important. All right. Okay, guys. So let's go to the next one. Tesla here. And I had a lot of questions about this because this morning Tony took a Tesla trade, and you will say, Neto, that was not a break and retest. Yeah, that was not a break and retest, but he was, he was very convinced of this pre-market high, 346.95, and he said, well, with the reclaim of this 346.95, let's say 347. With the reclaim of this 347 here and above opening price, I will take this to 350, and he trimmed most of his trade right here at 350, right? I mean, he went for high of the day and then this pushed to 350, so he trimmed most of his position here. And then I don't know where he was trying to set the stop loss, but probably he was the top on this candle here, 1008. But hey, Neto, did you see any other opportunities here? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And let me explain why. Here, and don't judge me, I was actually looking to short Tesla right here. I was looking for a move. I mean, rejection of previous day high. It tried, came for this 350. Rejection of this previous day high. I was looking for something like this, then a retest of this 5-minute opening range low. This is the 5-minute opening range low. It's not. No, this is the 1-minute opening range low. Yeah. But it's also a key level, right? 346.12. It was a key level on the 15-minute chart. So I was looking for something like this. Something like this to fill this gap after this head and shoulders. But what happened here? We have a change of character here. Change of character here. So we have lower high, lower low. Well, this is not a lower low here, right? So can you see here? So this is holding this trend line here. So here it's not, it's still inside, but now it's a higher low. Now it's a higher low here. Now it's a higher low here. And it's relevant because this is the opening price. So you are having a change of character right here on this key level, opening price. And also you are breaking this trend line here. You are breaking this trend line here, or this wedge here. So once you retested this pre-market high, and you are actually breaking this trend line here, what you can expect here? A higher high. Higher high, and then a higher low, and then a higher high. So this is a lot of context. I know. But I mean, once this once these head and shoulders fail here, once these head and shoulders on the 1 minute fail here, and it actually reclaimed this 1 minute, I'm sorry, this pre-market high, and it's breaking this trend line on the 1 minute, this was a good chance here for the recovery. And also, what was happening on the indices? Again, context. What was happening on the indices right here? Breaking out, or at the top, yeah, like here. Breaking out and at the top of the range. New highs. New highs here. New highs here on SPY. Very close to new highs here on QQQ, but also breaking this trend line. Breaking this trend line. So now can you see all of the context for this Tesla trade? And what I was looking here, well, I was looking high of the day. High of the day here. This was a 1-to-4 risk reward ratio trade. If you had your stop loss here to this opening price, but you may have something like this. But let's be realistic, probably here. So you have high of the day here, but look at this. Look how aggressive was this. So maybe, yeah, well, at least you had this 1-to-4 risk reward ratio trade. So let me go to the chat. I did this exact Tesla trade. Nice. You are not such a noob. Yeah. You did chicken out too early, but at least you take it to this 350, right? So if you take this to 350, it was at least a 1 to 3.5 risk reward ratio trade. So that was a very nice trade. All right. So here, did you have any other chance here? Well, if you draw this or the block here, what do you have? Well, you had this. You had two. Actually, you had two chances here, right? Let's look for the let's look for the nicest one. Let's look for the nicest one. So here, this is the first retest of this order block here. What about this? Yeah, well, this is QQQ breaking out with new highs. Oh, something like here. Your risk was at the bottom of these candles here, and you were looking for this 352. All right. So this is a 1-to-2 risk reward ratio trade, and you got it here. And what happened after this consolidation? It flew. Yeah, this was yeah. If you manage to stay on this trade, this went nuts all the way to 355 here. Yeah. So anyone else took Nvidia today? Yeah. Many of you, right? Many of you. All right. So okay. So can you see here, guys, that you don't need to be on the exact same trade than the coaches. You can actually find different and actually nicer opportunities than them if you are patient, if you have a plan, if you are looking for context. Can you see that? Andreas, when you compare to the indices, if you are looking at a long, the indices need to be above which heights? They need to be showing direction. I don't care if it's inside of a range, but if it's looking, like going to the upside, it doesn't need to be like with a lot of strength, just showing me some direction. Just showing me some direction. All right, so that was Tesla. Let's go to Microsoft here. Microsoft doing absolutely nothing the whole day inside of the 5-minute opening range. So this is the 5-minute opening range. So nothing to see here, nothing to see here. Let's go to the next one. Meta. Well, Meta here, what do you see, guys? I mean, do you think this is a nice break and retest of pre-market low, retest of this 5 minute opening range, and then retest of this 669? I I don't see it like, like too clear. I don't see it like too clear. Why? Because the indices were at the top of this range. They were at the top of this range. Look at this. They were at the top of this range, and this thing was at the bottom of this range. At the bottom of this range. So I don't see too much of a direction here on Meta, so I will discard Meta today. Palantir, this is also very ugly price action. This is the 1 minute. This is the 5 minute opening range. This is the 5 minute opening range. So I wouldn't see all until this break and retest here a good break and retest opportunity. Like, yeah, because look at this consolidation here. I mean, this. Oh, sorry. So this is just ugly. This is just ugly. But this is a nice break retest here. But what was happening with the indices? Right here, they were breaking out to new highs. But again, if you are not following the indices and you were trying to do something with this here, you are taking your risk at the top of this candle here, and you were aiming to low of the day, and this was a 1 to 2.2 risk reward ratio trade, and the next key level here was a 1 to 3.1 risk reward ratio trade, and you didn't hit 130, but that was close, right? So again, if you say like, hey Neto, maybe this trade could be taken like here, oh, I don't know, like here maybe, and you were looking for this. The thing is that here your risk is like just too big. Yeah, like I mean, if you take your trade like here, your risk was just too big. Like maybe even if you take it like here, it was a 1 to 2.3 risk reward ratio trade, but after like an hour and a half, 11 in the morning, yeah, like an hour of suffering. Your premium burning right here, right here, right here. So the best entry here will be this one. But again, the indices were completely on the opposite side of the chart. So I don't know. I mean, if you are not looking for correlation with the indices, this will be your best entry here, just because how this was pushing lower and how you can set your risk here. Because right here, your risk was just too much. It was just too much. And the reaction right here on these key levels were not like the best. And also here, you are almost at low of the day. But here, now you have room for the move lower. Okay? Anyone took Palantir today? Joseph, SPY calls. Give me 1 second and we will go to SPY. This is Google inside of the 5 minute opening range the whole day. The whole day. So nothing to see here. And that was all of the names for us here. Joseph, SPY calls 1037. 1037. Nice. This is a break and retest. This is a break and retest of the 5 minute opening range. So your risk should be below this candle here. And you were aiming to this 594, 595. Maybe something like this. what was your 1037? Okay, 1037 is this one. What was your risk and what was your target, Joseph? 594.50 here. This is a 1 to 2.75 risk reward ratio trade. Yeah, maybe this was a good. I mean, this is just lucky, right? I mean, not lucky, but this was a very, decent uh, target profit for your trade. Got out 1055, 1055 right here. Yeah. So, well, look here. I mean, you have higher highs, and this was higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Yeah, this is textbook market structure, right? This is textbook market structure. So, guys, I want you to start using a timer. Like when you enter into a trade, use a timer. You decide how much of time you need, but use a timer so to your you can stay connected to your uh, how do you say, to your trade. Look at the market structure, look at the confluences, look at the correlation with other tickers or the indices or whatever you are watching at. So, but have something that connects you with with your trade. This way, you are not gonna chicken out, like you said. You're not gonna chicken out with the first pullback or with the first down closing candle. All right. So that's unsolicited piece of advice, but that's experience share. I use my own 5 minute timer, and it works wonders for me because it keeps me connected to my trade, and I mean, for me, it makes all the difference here. So, all right, Rael, 1010 on SPY, 1010 on SPY here, 1010, retest of pre-market high. And when did you went out? 594.50. Yeah, this one here. Nice. Yeah, well, this was a monster trade. How much of a percentage you keep? The timer helps me out as well, keeps me from breaking my rules. Yeah, yeah. So the timer, look, yeah, exactly. It keeps you connected to everything you set for a better performance, right? If you have rules, if you are reading price action, if you are looking for correlation with other tickers, indices, or whatever, if you so it keeps you connected to your trade. So that's a experience share. I mean, take it or leave it, but if you how do I use my timer? When I enter my trade, I just start the timer, and it's a 5 minute timer. What are you looking for? Should not exceed. No, I mean, I'm setting my timer for 5 minutes, and again, it just keeps me connected to my trade. I'm watching closely price action. I'm watching closely market structure. I'm watching closely correlation with the indices. So it just keeps me connected to what I'm doing, and I'm not afraid of what's happening because I have a plan and I'm following my plan. All right. Um, thank you, Ryle. See you tomorrow. So, guys, that's all for me. That's all for me. It's 1 hour from when we started. Please, please, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if you don't have any other questions, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.